Let's talk about craft versus macro distilling. If you're seeing this for the first time, my name is Kelly and I'm a distiller. I think our understanding of what craft spirits are comes from our understanding of what craft beer is. So when craft beer had its first big wave, most producers were making ales, and that was very distinct from what we were used to from Anheuser-Busch or Miller Coors, because they were all making American pale lagers. Craft brewers also had a little bit of a creative advantage because the smaller batch sizes meant that if something was a flap, it was less of a loss. So our idea of craft went from something quantitative, like the size of the brewery, to something qualitative, that it was an artisan beer. It was made differently than our mass-produced lagers. Which explains why, regardless of how much these companies grew or were taken on by larger producers, we still saw them as craft breweries. Enter craft distilling. The biggest difference in spirits production and beer production, besides how it's actually made, is the fact that spirits need to age. When we distill something like a whiskey, we don't know how good it's going to be for a long time. So we don't have a lot of room to be creative or take too many risks. This is why from distilleries of all sizes, you'll see a lot more creativity when it comes to the finishing casks or the different expressions of proof, the different blends of barrels or single barrels. You'll see a lot less creativity when it comes to mash bill or something that starts at the very beginning, because it takes a lot of time to know if it's going to be good. Now, the economy of scale difference between macro distillers and craft distillers means that macro distillers can lay down a lot more barrels, and we have this. A lot of craft distilleries also make clear spirits in the meantime to keep their businesses going and the cash flow coming. And although it's not really a chore to make gin, it does take away from our production time making whiskey and putting down barrels. And even if we were to hire more distillers and work round the clock to lay down as much whiskey as we can only make a certain amount before our license changes from craft to plenary, at which point we lose our tasting room. And tasting rooms are a huge part of how craft distillers reach consumers. None of this says anything about quality, but it does say a lot about how much we have to choose from when we're doing our blends or we're making different expressions. It means that we have to be very creative and very careful about where we put our whiskey so that we can have a future of our company. I'm extremely biased, but I think that craft producers are making amazing products, so go out and check out whoever's local to you, and as always, drink what you like.